It's your moment and it's your time. You're listening to Be Inspired with Amajo. If you're going to tap into this deeper part of yourself and really tap into self-discovery, you need to create space for yourself. We talked earlier about the power of no, and that no creates space and time for other things. And this is really, really important. So let's talk about how you can create more space for yourself and how this space can lead to discovery. Think about your day and think about your life and think about your weeks. And as time goes by, think about how busy you are. So the first thing to do, we're going to talk about 3 steps, is to just quiet the busyness and take a step back from it. And the first thing that I would do is to give yourself some mind space. Give yourself some time to journal. I would go out and get a journal from the local bookstore and start to just write in it every day, if not every day, as many times as you can, but really to just write out what it is that you want. Maybe write out your frustrations and write down what you see for your life. It has to become real, or else it's just going to be a thought and it's going to be this passing thing that you think about all the time, but you never do anything about. And so now it's time to do something about it. So the first thing is to create some mind space. Give yourself some time to write down what you really want and just read over it from time to time. Maybe this might take you a few weeks to just constantly write down what's in your heart, but a lot of times we discount what's inside of us and we value what everyone else is doing so much. This is the first step to you valuing what's on the inside. The second thing that I would encourage you to do is to schedule downtime in your every day if you can, or every week. I would set aside 10 to 15 minutes to just what I call it gazing, and it's just setting time where you're not really thinking about anything. I mean, it's hard to not think about anything because our minds run, but to gaze and imagine what you want your life to be like. I truly believe that God has given us all this powerful gift of imagination, and I call it the eye on the inside. And that is to allow yourself to actually see yourself doing something different than what you're currently doing, or doing something more and something more meaningful, if that's what you want. But gaze into your future, gaze into what you see for yourself, and allow yourself to see this other person or this other life that you want. And as you think about that and as you gaze, also think about the things that come up, the thoughts that counter that, the thoughts that say, oh, you don't have enough money, you're not talented enough, you don't live in the right place. And also write those things down too, because those may be the things that you truly need to overcome. And those belief systems, right? We talked about belief systems earlier. These negative or limiting thoughts that keep coming up may be the thoughts that we need to rewire or replace with other thoughts or another set of beliefs that really takes you to where you want to go. Really, on the inside of us, I heard this once from a leadership seminar that I went to. And this guy said something so powerful. Actually, his name was Brian Clemmer. He's no longer with us now, but it was just a really powerful leadership teacher and mentor. And he came to a church that I was attending. And he said that we really act on what we believe, not necessarily what we know. And that it is our belief systems that's truly driving the system, not necessarily what we know, right? A lot of us know that we can do great things, but really, what do we actually believe? And these deep-seated, kind of unseen, not talked about belief systems that are deep on the inside of us is really what's driving us. And these things sometimes drive us to stay small or to stay unseen or to remain unheard. So if you give yourself time to gaze, you're allowing the eye on the inside, you're allowing yourself to see something different. And I really believe that you're actually expanding your world. So gaze and think about those things that you really want to do and really, really see that for yourself. The third thing I want you to do to create more space for yourself, and this is more pragmatic because I believe in being positive as well as being pragmatic, because without being pragmatic, we don't get anything done. I want you to decide what are those 2 or 3 things, or if it's more than 3, it's fine. Or even if it's just one, what are those things that you need to learn or training, or what way do you need to invest in yourself to start taking steps towards what you believe? Do you need to take leadership training? Do you need to take communication skills training class? Maybe you really want to get better at your social media business, and maybe you need to learn a little bit more about digital marketing. It could be something as practical as that. Maybe you really want to get into nursing, and so now you need to become a nursing assistant. Or maybe it's just going back to school or getting that certificate in your field. What are those things practically that you need to learn? One of the things that is on my bucket list is learning more about private equity and venture capital, because I really love working with startups, and I really love just the whole process of studying what makes a startup grow. And I know that private equity and venture capital is something that is very important that I just don't have enough knowledge about. So I have made it my goal to really study that. And for me, it's watching some YouTube videos, it's following some of my favorite leading voices in venture capital. It's me kind of making friends with different angel investors that I know that are in my circle. So that's something very practical, because when I close my eyes and I envision my next, I see myself not only growing my own business, but helping other entrepreneurs. And so I know that that's something that I need to know. So what is it practically that you need to learn? And why this is giving you space is because this is going to show you what you need to do next, and it's going to show you where you need to invest your time. And so maybe you might join an association or a chamber of commerce or some type of industry group where you can gain access to this knowledge. Life is as much positive and big as it is small, practical, and taking steps. So I would encourage you to follow these 3 steps. 1, get a journal, start writing things down. 2, go gazing. Give yourself a chance to gaze, quiet your mind, and see something different. Use the power of your imagination. And number 3, assess and decide what you need to learn practically, what you need to learn next in order to take those steps towards what you see. Remember that learning is everywhere. So maybe if you don't have the dollars to go back to school or to get that graduate degree or whatever it is, maybe you can look into a certificate, or maybe you can just scour YouTube, or, there's so many online courses out there and ways to learn. There's no way that you cannot learn what you need. So decide to give yourself this space, and it'll take you on the next step of your journey to self-discovery. Thanks so much for listening to Be Inspired. Make sure you follow me on Amajo Plus at amajo.com.